Zexine here. I know I've been gone for however long, but I have an explanation for it. 1, I was on a very important mission. 2, I was sick. 3, I don't care what Xemnas thinks and wants us to do these pointless things, so instead I shall change it to a report to inform those who are on the lesser side of intelligence about my observations and research that I've done myself. I still don't read Twilight. When will people get this through their heads? Vexen, I would think you at least would know what I read since you come and borrow some of my books all the time. Have you ever seen a Twilight in there? No! So you should stop listening to what everybody else says and just listen to what I say. For once. I help you with enough of your assignments and experiments. So today, I will explain heartless, nobodies, darkness, the stuff that people should know. And for those of even more lesser intelligence, I have props for you. This is a heartless, and this is a nobody. Yay! A heartless is created when the darkness in someone's heart overcomes their sanity. Well, more of it just consumes them. Their soul and being is eaten and consumed and turned to this. And as a heartless, they continue to seek out other hearts. Now, are heartless intelligent? Some are. However, these are not. Because these are just shadows created from some people in some of the worlds. There are 2 different types of heartless. There's the ones that are created from the darkness of the world, and ones created from the darkness of people's hearts. And there's ones that were created themselves. Each of these carries hearts inside of it. So the term heartless technically isn't correct, as they do hold hearts, but they're not theirs. They just kind of collect them. Now what happens to these hearts? Well, consider it being lost in eternal darkness and hatred and all the dark emotions inside the human body and heart that they like to hide away. Now, how is a nobody created? Well, for very strong hearts, or souls, or, you know, perhaps whatever, there's an impression left upon the worlds that is a ghost, so to say. Nobodies are these ghosts. However, humanoid nobodies are even rarer than most others. They're ones that hold the intelligence and memories of the person they were before. However, that doesn't mean they are the person. They're just a mimicry. A reflection, so to say. What was left behind. Now, can almost everybody turn into one of these nobodies? No, they can't. It takes a certain specific list of things that we still haven't quite figured out. But we're pretty close to it. So, a heart splits into 2. In a way. There's the echo left behind along with the memories, and then there's everything that is there, which is the emotions and everything else that's eaten and taken away by the darkness, creating the heartless. The nobody is the powers or the sometimes dusks and lower nobodies can remember pieces of their past lives. Of course I would know since I work with them constantly. Experiments, you know, maybe. What kind of people can turn into these? Well, ones who have extraordinary abilities, strong will, and a need to make a mark. They're the ones that are most likely to leave behind a stronger nobody, or perhaps even humanoid nobody. We used to research to try to see who would make good nobodies, but honestly, I don't really believe we'd want anybody else human-like in our organization. It's full enough as it is. Point in case, Zaldin stopped creeping on Beast's castle. There's nothing there for you. Can Heartless be kept as pets? Yes and no. Some Heartless are too stupid to understand simple commands and be trained to do tricks or be affectionate, and the only kind of people that can keep a Heartless for a pet are nobodies. Why? Because we can control them. I would suggest one of the heartless you can find on other worlds and have a different form other than this thing. Because these ones don't make good pets. They just creep around the walls and the shadows and stuff. Powers. Well, how does a person who didn't have any powers in their past life suddenly get powers as a nobody? Now, I wish people would stop considering nobodies and people the same thing, because their somebodies are not the nobodies. However, the nobodies can take some powers or inclinations that the somebodies had and turn them into abilities. Such as, let's do Zigbar, for instance. Zigbar had, as Breg, had some interesting abilities. Those transferred over to the nobody, however, the nobody got a much better end of the deal. So he can creep on ceilings and be where you don't believe he is, and have amazing accuracy with guns that he summons out of nowhere. The weapons are all summoned from bits of being that the nobodies are. Perhaps you need an example. Let's use... Cloud would be too cliche. Leon. Would Leon become a nobody if he was turned into a Heartless? Yes. Why? Because he already has an immense skill level in fighting, and he has a strong enough heart. I'm not sure what his Heartless would be, but I'm quite positive he would either turn into a very strong... he'd leave a very strong nobody, or he would become a humanoid nobody. From careful observation, I've debated that he is not worth our time. Why? Because he'd be a wild card. He'd be too dangerous. Kind of like Axel. And Marluxia. And Larxene. You know what? And Roxas, whatever. I have our organization. How do we trust each other? Oh, speaking of our organization, Lexeus had a conversation with me, and as much as everybody forgets him, he still believes we're all still a family and wants me to apologize for my rudeness and egotistical comments about how stupid people are. Axel, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry for the rest of the peoples too. Whoever else I insulted. I kind of forget. So that's about it. I believe next time I'll do a report on Keyblades. They're fascinating, actually, since I've started looking into them a bit. And maybe some of the other weapons. If anyone has any questions or things that you wish to hear about, or perhaps more details on some of the subjects, just feel free to leave a comment or something. I'll get back to it eventually.